Alright, so the triggers I need to hit in order to move on are to examine the door, the ball and chain, and one of the pieces of moss, and then I need to just kind of wait for a while. So I'll just practice my guard dashing while we're waiting. This game has no depth physics, by the way, too, which we're about to exploit to save about half a second.
Nice.
Yep. Because you're supposed to. That's supposed to be kind of a tutorial for your telekinesis powers, but if you just stand in the corner there, the gem just drops onto you and you get it. Unlike in Soul Blazer, gems in this game are actually bad for the speedrun route, because if you get over 100 of them, that's kind of a one-up, where if you die, you'll respawn in the same room you died in. But if you don't have 100 gems, then you go back to the entrance to the dungeon, and that's good in the speedrun because it lets me skip pretty significant amounts of backtracking later on. So this is a fairly different kind of a run from Soul Blazer, just because there's really no grinding to speak of, just because whenever I kill a boss in this game, my stats all get caught up, so this is much more a run about avoiding fighting stuff than actually doing it.
And you saw him walk through a wall right there. When he busts the wall, you can go into the menu and then he voids the trigger for the detection boxes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the collision detection for the door is already turned off when I exit the menu.
He's going to do it again here. Oops. And he uses a red jewel since he can do something in the menu while he's doing it.
Cut the wrong thing. Yeah, because there's 50 red jewels, and I can only hold 16 items at once. And if I equip and use a red jewel, it sends it to the jeweler. That's the biggest reset point in the whole run for more serious attempts, because, yeah. It's a somewhat random, though. But, yeah, then, since I have to go into the menu anyway to do the pause trick for skipping the explosion animations, I also equip the jewels so that I can use it. That goes about halfway into the run before I can run into the jeweler without a detour. And then start getting some prizes too. Let's see if I can show off a glitch here. It's pixel perfect actually to enter that dark space before it actually appears. But if you do that, the Friedan statue isn't in here. All that's in here is the Gaia statue. And you'd have to leave and go back in to make the Friedan statue appear.
Huh.
So it would only actually be useful in a segmented run, because in a segmented run you'd probably be saving here and breaking segments. I'm going to be healing a lot at the save points just for marathon safety. More serious run, I wouldn't. I'd be hoping to get health drops from enemies instead. Okay, and right there is what I call an iframe dash, or an invincibility frame dash, because whenever you hit an enemy, they cannot hurt you while they're flashing white from the hit stun. And if I basically time it right, I can just pass right through them without taking taking any damage.
You gotta be dashing in order to get through.
Yeah, and it's not too difficult. I mean, it does take some practice to get consistent at it, but it's not really that hard to do it either as Friedan or as Shadow. But as Will, it's really, really difficult because the inputs that you do with the other two characters with Will instead trigger his jump attack. And in order to cancel the jump attack, you'd have to insert another perpendicular D-pad input, all within just a couple frame windows. So fortunately, there's really not many places in the run where being able to iframe dash as Will actually saves time. I've only found 2. Unlike in Soul Blazer, you can actually run in this game, but you do have to double tap the D-pad to run, which can be a little off-putting. So Terranigma fixed that by just giving you a run button on your controller. Terranigma is the 3rd game in the trilogy. Oh, time for the most important item in the game here.
You've found a large, yummy roast leg of yak. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Not to a yak, it doesn't. He wants his leg back.
No.
This is all just waiting for her to go walk through the middle.
Yep.
He's a jackal. Looks more like a cat.
Yeah, I can see it. Kinda.
Well, excuse me, princess. Alright, so we've got Dirty House.
Insta clean.
Clean House.
Yeah. And it goes outside, so that way they just instantly go down to the table.
Well, no, you have to leave
You
in order for them to go downstairs, and then they have to be downstairs for you to be able to trigger the next sequence. And I go in and out of this house here just to warp Kara and Lily up to these stairs. It's like a few seconds faster than actually waiting for them, because they do have to get there before you can move past.
Yeah.
Alright, and in here is where we get our first special ability. This is the Psycho Dash, which
Pretty useful.
yeah, I mean, you need it in order to break open some walls, but it also does a lot more damage than Will's flute does. And if you line it up right, you can actually get 2 hits per dash too. So that can one-shot most enemies in the next dungeon that I actually need to kill. Skip there.
Yeah.
Having this
Those
like
little
climbing down the
stones
ladder.
help.
Mm-hmm.
This game isn't really that good at kind of telling you what to do and where to go. Sometimes, like, you're not really given a whole lot of hints on how to get into this room, other than that you get the Psycho Dash. And
Also, the Will's hair blows when there's a good gap in the wall, I believe, isn't it?
I don't.
Where they tell you to break.
I think in future puzzles, but not that one. So coming up here, we've got probably the first real RNG hell of the run. Because I have to fight this group of caterpillars, and their movement pattern can make it either really easy or really difficult to kill them before the in-game timer runs out.
Hope you get a triple kill.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Oh, maybe a double. Oh.
When you start rolling, it's hard to get the double hit with the flute.
Oh, actually, that kind of was okay.
Yeah, 4 is not good. I mean, I've gotten as high as 11 on the in-game timer, but a lot of that's just up to RNG as far as if they group together well enough for me to kill like 3 of them with the Psycho Dash at the start of the fight.
Yeah.
At least they weren't like rolling around all the sides.
Yeah, well, I am able to kind of manipulate, because they roll at you if you line up to them either on either a X or Y axis, basically, and that's why I came at them from a diagonal to prevent any of them from rolling down, because if that happens, I mean it becomes kind of iffy if you can even win at all before the in-game timer runs out. Because if that happens, you have to leave and start over. Okay, we've got the first kind of real dungeon here with really awesome music and some really cool skips.
Alright, we have some donations here. The first is from I asked for $10, and it says this donation is in support of optimized yak eating. And that is going towards Quexel doing the bonus dungeon and boss in Illusion of Gaia.
Nice.
And we also have an anonymous donation for $4, also towards Quexel doing the bonus dungeon and boss in Illusion of Gaia. So thank you very much to both of you.
Nice.
How much more does that need to make to reach its goal? Still a fair amount. He places the block without killing the enemy.
Yeah, because there's a hole under that enemy there, but I can stand above it and use the block without actually having to fight it. But that's why I killed that one on my way into that room the first time, though, is because otherwise he'd be able to shoot me.
And there's shield dashing.
Yeah, that's a trick I call guard dashing, where I can run while guarding, which you're not meant to be able to do. It's mostly just useful for screwing around, but in that one place, or there's 2 places where it can be useful for saving little bits of time. Alright, this room's pretty cool.
And to answer FF Gamer's question, the Gems Mansion and Solid Arm has reached $59 out of $250.
It's gonna do a little. Nope.
Not high up, but there we go.
Here we go. Yep.
There we go.
A jump, jump slash. He gets enough height where he can slide down it and slide across the other side.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the first thing I did was I killed that statue head with Will, which you're not supposed to be able to do. The game expects you to go get Friedan, whose sword can reach longer, but if I run up against the wall like I did, I can just barely hit it. Then I also did what I call a ramp boost, or a ramp momentum boost, where I can do a jump attack on a horizontal ramp with the right timing in order to instantly build momentum, and skip having to climb to the top and run down.
Does that work on vertical ramps too, or?
No, just horizontal ramps.
Mm-hmm.
They bait you with that switch.
There's your kill.
Yeah, when it doesn't really help, other than safety. That's the one red jewel in this place, and I mean, the 100% is only a little over 10 minutes longer than any percent, just because most of the jewels are in towns instead of in dungeons.
Mm-hmm. And all the ones in dungeons are in chests, I believe, right?
Pretty much, yeah. And then for this room here, what you're normally supposed to do is go learn the Melody of Winds in a different part of the dungeon and play it, which eliminates the switch to stand on to open the door. But you don't either need to learn or play the melody if you already know where the switch is. So between that and killing that statue with Will, I skipped like probably about 40% or so of that dungeon.
And I think it's easier to fight this boss with Frieden because his range is longer.
Well, plus you do twice as much damage. Because damage you do to bosses in this game is only based on what form you are, not what your stats are.
Almost.
It's like one frame.
That's the most difficult trick in the whole run, is to kill this boss before he does his laser pattern.
How often do you say you get that?
I've never gotten it on console, only on emulator practice. Because what I was doing there was I was trying to basically press the attack button in a very specific rhythm. I can never remember exactly how many frames it is. It's like 16 or 18 or something like that, but it's basically just the perfect rhythm as far as when I can attack and after cooling down from my last attack. So in order to be able to one cycle cast off, I have to both have a perfect attack rhythm and I have to get lucky with at what point when I'm in my first swing animation, cast off opens its eyes. That was pretty darn close to getting it though. Just a couple, like a few frames away.
Yep.
Oh, I also have to get lucky with his fiery crystal patterns too.
Yeah.
Because if the two patterns are on different tracks, then if I don't want to get hit, I have to dodge the second one, and then I can't get the one round. So these mystic statues are kind of like the stones in Soul Blazer, only you're not really given any kind of reason in the game for collecting them until you've gotten all of them. Now we get to see Will's rubber legs in action. Whee! Splat. Oops, wait, where am I? Getting tired already.
Take a nap.
He's not tired.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
Yeah. Will doesn't take naps anywhere as often as Cecil does, though. This is a pretty insidious jewel here, just because you have such a really tight window to get it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Since I can't move during this cutscene, but I can open the menu, so I equip the yak leg during that, just because to save frames, basically. So all of this rafting sequence here is just pretty much just a series of story triggers that you need to hit. Like the first day I had to talk to Kara twice and then eat the yak meat. This day I just have to hit one of the fish and then wait about 30 seconds.
I got just a flag on your little raft there.
Yeah, a surrender flag, I guess. Such a bother. Okay, so then on this day I need to actually refill my HP and then talk to Kara. The game doesn't actually care how you get to full HP, so in a more serious attempt I would use the medical herb I picked up in the Incan ruins to refill 8 HP and skip having to catch 8 fish. But I want to save that medical herb for the vampires for safety.
Yeah.
I mean, you're stranded on a raft for like 7 days. You definitely kind of start getting feelings.
Yep.
What else you got? The fish?
Yeah.
I guess there are more fish in the sea then.
Sharks.
The sharks. Oops. Talked to her by mistake.
Those frames, man.
Day 21 and end of drift.
Oh yeah, and here we've got our best Xbox too. Will fell over unconscious.
Yep.
He's so strong he can narrate himself falling
Yeah.
unconscious. Here we get a quick tutorial on how scurvy works.
I call you when he first wakes up, he just stands on the bed.
Yeah.
And you just to jump off. Here's Turbo the dog, Quintet's mascot. Did some dumpster diving there to get a medical herb and an HP up. The HP up is just there, so it's not really a detour, and having one more HP does help in a couple places.
Mm-hmm.
Which one do you want?
The one who tells me about the mine. To get this one of this next jewels too, I actually have to sell out an escaped a slave miner to his captors, which is for kids, you know.
Took a while for me to figure out you can jump over those little ledges there.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
another kind of nasty one. Because of the 50 jewels in the game, half of them are permanently missable.
Maybe because you can't go back to certain areas once you get to a certain spot.
Yeah, like I can't go back to South Cape or the Incan ruins or Ittery Village or anything now.
Time for the diamond mine.
Yep.
It's a pretty cool dungeon too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's got some stuff. It's got some really annoying enemies too,
Yeah.
because of how little space you have to work with.
But if you do it well, it looks pretty nice.
Wow, I can barely see the walls on this TV.
Look at the flash screen.
Yeah, I will. I mean, I can see enough. But
The flash screen's like really bright.
yeah, it's got lag though. Those purple eyeballs have kind of have pretty unpredictable movement patterns. If I hadn't clipped the wall like that, I could have gotten past that worm without getting hit. Ah, well. Yeah, if the lizard man gets in front of the switch, even though it looks like I'm hitting the switch along with the lizard man, I'm really not. Wasn't high up enough.
And 3 red jewels.
Yep.
It's one of those really hidden ones too.
Yeah, because that one, yeah, if you stand close enough to it, you can see Will's hair blowing,
Yeah.
which is the cue.
And all those jump sauces.
Wow. This guy for safety because my health is so low.
Oh,
Jeez, the
Oh,
snipe.
oh.
These guys do our. You're actually going to do a death warp in a second here.
Yeah,
so.
but I'm gonna heal just because I don't want. I could get sniped by
Yeah.
something in the next room, and then
Yeah.
have to do a ton of backtracking. Like useless thing here too. Hey, what am I doing? Hey, what was that? Oh, Darkfire can now be used. Yeah, whenever you touch a power-up statue, you get the ability instantly before the tutorial pops up. Yeah, because coming up after I get the key that I need in this area of the mine, I'm going to do Death Warp. So I generally want to have kind of lowish health coming out of this room so that I can die faster, but I don't want to die prematurely because then that would be like roughly a minute worth of extra backtracking. So I took that heal for safety.
If he gets hit here, if it's actually worth it.
Because yeah, once in a great while that worm can snipe me,
Yeah.
depending on when it shoots. I mean, I can usually despawn the shot by getting it to run into the wall, but once in a great while it hits me. Okay, so now that I've got that key, I'm gonna die, which sends me back, because I have under 100 dark gems,
Yep.
it sends me all the way back to the entrance, but that both skips some backtracking to get to the